Good morning, good morning, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being here today on this beautiful Tuesday morning. I am Bronx Borough President Vanessa Gibson. I welcome all of you this morning for a very important press conference. And as I stand here, I am very proud to be joined by so many of our incredible leaders across this borough, our elected officials, our community partners, our city agencies, and our commissioners that proudly represent city agencies such as the NYPD, Patrol Borough Bronx, the New York City Department of Sanitation, the New York City Department of Parks and Recreation. We also have representatives from the Sanitation Foundation, ASEZ, the 161st Street Business Improvement District, as well as Bronx Community Board 4. And as I begin, I want to acknowledge that over the last several weeks across our borough, we have seen such an unfortunate and alarming rise in gun violence and violence in general, and in particular, violence among our young adults and youth. So first, as we begin, we stand here in solidarity and we send our hearts, our love, thoughts, and prayers to so many of our Bronx families that are impacted by the recent acts of gun violence. We know that gun violence is a plague that continues to exist right here in our borough and certainly in the city of New York, and we are never going to normalize gun violence. We're always going to denounce violence in all forms and stand with families who are mourning the loss of a loved one and certainly those that are injured by gun violence. So I thank all of you for being here, and as the Bronx Borough President, I take everything that happens across our borough deeply personal because I know that there are mothers and fathers and parents and children in our borough that are hurting each and every day. When we talk about trauma-informed care, when we talk about wraparound services and counseling and so many critical services that families need, it is because we know that gun violence and violence is not normal. It will never define who we are as a borough, nor is it reflective of the values of our borough. And we stand here collectively with love and in solidarity, making sure that we are unifying our borough. And so as we stand here today, I am so grateful to recognize the partners that I am proud to work with each and every day. The recently adopted New York City budget for FY26, our office received $62 million in capital funding. And a part of that work is recognizing the interagency coordination that we have as an office with our law enforcement, the NYPD, the Department of Sanitation, the Department of Transportation, and the Department of Parks. We recognize that clean streets are safe streets. And over the summer, particularly during the month of June, in which we recognize as Gun Violence Awareness Month, we embarked on an incredible partnership with advocacy groups and volunteer-based organizations, including the Sanitation Foundation in partnership with the New York Yankees. We had an incredible initiative called Don't Dump on the Bronx. And we mean that because we've seen an unfortunate rise in illegal dumping happening all across parts of our borough. We also work closely with a student volunteer organization known as ASEZ. And these were high school and college students that dedicated and volunteered their time over the summer to help us clean up the Bronx. So we had cleanup events where we were picking up trash all across our borough in many areas of need. And I'm very proud of this work. And although the summer is winding down, this work will never stop. So I am very proud to announce that we, in the FY26 capital budget, have been allocated money to focus on enhancing public safety and quality of life through our Clean Streets Are Safe Streets initiative. The capital allocations that we have awarded will fund the installation of security cameras and strengthen our enforcement efforts to combat illegal dumping. Clean streets are safe streets, and every resident of our borough deserves to live in safe, clean neighborhoods that are free from illegal dumping, excessive trash, where we can feel proud of our communities. We have allocated $1.5 million, and this investment builds on the foundation that we have built over the years and takes it to the next level by expanding resources and ensuring that every resident in our community can live in cleaner, safer communities. I know that no single agency can solve this problem alone. That is why we work together in a collaborative way. That is why we work with sanitation, the Parks Department, the NYPD, the Sanitation Foundation, elected officials, and ASEZ WAO, and so many other partners who are aligned with our values and our priorities to ensure that we address illegal dumping. Illegal dumping is not just a cleanliness issue, but it's also a public safety issue that attracts crime. It threatens public health, and it erodes at the work that we do each and every day to keep our neighborhoods clean and safe. We deserve quality of life, and that is why we are making these targeted investments to address it. We are continuing to work with so many organizations like ASEZ and the Sanitation Foundation that host community cleanups all year round throughout the borough to not only help to keep our streets clean, but to also promote community pride, collective responsibility, civic engagement, and making sure that we are a part of the solution and not a part of the problem. But let me be very clear. Security cameras are not just vital to combating illegal dumping, they are critical in our overall public safety agenda to keep our streets safe. We have seen an unprecedented rise in violence among young people with recent acts that we have heard and seen, and certainly our hearts go out to the families of Angel Mendoza, who was fatally stabbed in Williamsbridge Oval Park on August 5th. And 4 teenagers between the ages of 13 and 15 were shot in Westchester Square just this last Friday on August 22nd. And of course, this past weekend on Saturday, August 23rd, the shooting that we had in Hafen Park, where a 17-year-old young lady is fighting for her life right now, and a 30-year-old man lost his life. We denounce this violence in all forms, and we will never accept it as normal. We know that these incidents do not reflect who we are, nor the spirit of our borough. Our young people are resilient, they are creative, and they are full of hope, and they are full of promise. We must give them opportunities, mentor them, encourage them, jobs, safe spaces, recreation, community centers, making sure that all of our spaces, including parks and playgrounds, remain safe. While security cameras are one piece of the puzzle, we know that there is much more work to be done. Addressing violence requires an interagency approach and strong collaboration between government partners, law enforcement, educators, school leaders, community leaders, non-for-profit organizations, anti-gun violence organizations, and credible messengers, and all of our CBOs. So as we have partnered with ASEZ and the Sanitation Foundation this past summer, along with so many young people and volunteers, our Bronx Youth Council, to remove tons of litter from our streets. This effort has reminded us that keeping our borough safe and clean is not the responsibility of government alone, but it's up to all of us. By supporting our communities, we are building pride in our neighborhoods, we are enhancing public safety, we are keeping our borough clean, and we are creating a borough that is stronger, healthier, cleaner, and safer for all. I am very proud of this commitment of $1.5 million, with $1 million going to NYPD Patrol Borough Bronx, and $500,000 going to the Department of Sanitation. This is an investment. It is not the only investment that we will make, but we will continue to work with the NYPD, the Parks Department, Sanitation, and the Department of Transportation. These are the agencies that we entrust to keep our borough safe and clean, but guess what? They cannot do it alone. And that is why we are all in this together, because clean streets are safe streets. And with that, I want to recognize and call up a partner, my borough-wide colleague who shares our values, who is a part of so many initiatives that we have led and partnered with together when it comes to public safety. You often see us together. Sometimes we look alike, we wear the same color, but it's just because we speak the same language. We take this work personal when children are victims of gun violence in our community. And we will never stop in our effort to rid our borough of illegal guns and focus on positive engagement for all of our young people and our families. So ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome our Bronx District Attorney, Darcel Clark.
Thank you and good morning. What a beautiful day it is today. It's not too hot like it usually is, like 100 degrees every time we're out here, or very windy, but what a beautiful day. And good morning to you all. I'm pleased to be here with my borough president, Vanessa Gibson, to announce this funding to help the Bronx be the pretty place it can and should be. And I thank all the partners that are here as well that also play a role in making sure that the Bronx is clean and safe. And that means pristine parks and clean streets and sidewalks. It means the beauty of being safe. They go together like a hand in a glove. The bulk of the $1.5 million the borough president is allocating will go to the NYPD for cameras in high crime spots. So Chief, thank you for that. You know we're gonna use that well. And the other $500,000 will go to sanitation to install cameras to deter illegal dumping, which is also important. As the borough president mentioned, it not only keeps it clean, but those are also areas where crimes are happening as well. So we need to make sure that the streets are clean, and then that way, when you have pride in where you are and you keep it clean, you'll make sure that it stays safe and clean. And that's the goal of this. You know, our residents shouldn't have to look at eyesores like the litter that we're seeing. I drive around the Bronx and just all over the city, and the place is filthy. But it's not just up to the Department of Sanitation. It is up to all of us. And we all play a role. And thank you, Borough President, for recognizing that and using the resources that you have to make sure that we can get this done, to get rid of these eyesores. And I hope that it will really help stop the illegal dumping that's happening, and also to curb the violence that we are seeing. It goes without saying, the violence that we have seen over the last week. You have seen me over and over and over at every press conference. You see me on the news. I work day in and day out. 24/7 public safety is my job, and it is my life. I live and breathe this every day. I worry about each and every Bronx resident every day. And when I see the senseless violence happening, I know that I have to use my office to make sure that we can keep the Bronx safe. So it's not only just the prosecution, and I'm pretty good at that, and I'm going to keep doing that. Holding people accountable that is bringing this violence to our community. But I also want to stand up with my government partners and the community, most of all, to make sure that we get all the prevention measures that we need. So cleaning and sanitation is part of it. Resources for our young people. We need this. What we saw this weekend is reprehensible, and we can do more, and we should do more, and we will do more with it. Those cameras will help. The incidents that we saw just from last Friday in each and every one of those locations near parks, no cameras in the park. Maybe with this money, we can look at that, if not necessarily in the parks, outside the parks. People need to be safe. It's not about spying on you, it's about keeping you safe. Because when something happens, you need me to have the evidence to prove and hold people accountable. And cameras are one of the things that is helping us most of all get that work done, because people are afraid. Sometimes they don't want to come forward. We have to prove these cases in other ways. And I can tell you those cameras are part and parcel to the very successful prosecutions we have been able to bring forth. So we're going to continue to use those cameras. I'm going to work with Chief Gurley and all of the members of NYPD to make sure we use them in a proper way, to make sure that we continue to hold people accountable for what they do. Of course, you know, we have to talk about our young people. We have to do more for them, to give them options other than violence. We need to let them know that they need to pick up a book instead of a gun. But we also need to work with our federal partners. We don't have any of them here, and we got to start bringing them in here too. Because you know what? These guns are not coming here by themselves. They're not being sold here on 161st Street. And how they're getting into the hands of 12 and 13 and 15-year-old children is also part of the work that I am going to be doing. So not only solving the shootings, but the gun itself is a crime that we have to prosecute, not only in state court, but in federal court, to hold people accountable that's helping to get these guns in the hands of our young people. So I want to make sure we do that. My heart goes out to the families that have been victims and survivors of the crime that we saw over the last week, but to our whole Bronx community, because when one of us is hurt, we're all hurt. We all hurt each and every day. And I visit families. I've been to too many vigils. I'm going to one tomorrow, once again in Hafen Park. Another place, no cameras. So let's use these cameras in the right places so that we can hold people accountable, and that when you go to visit a park, Commissioner, when they go to visit those parks, not only is it going to be clean, but it's going to be safe, because if something happens, people know somebody's watching. We will have the evidence to do it. So I'm just happy to be here. Thank you, Borough President, for using those capital funds to invest in the Bronx community so that we could be clean and safe. So I'm happy to be here with all of you. I will continue to do this work 24/7 as I have been for the last 10 years, and I cannot do it without the work of those people standing beside me, and those of you who are listening and watching. We need your help as well. Help us continue to keep the Bronx clean and safe. Thank you, Borough President.
Thank you, District Attorney Darcel Clark. Absolutely, we are in this together, and we need all hands on deck. I agree that security cameras are silent witnesses. There are many times that victims of crimes do not want to go forward because of retaliation. They have to live and raise their families in communities, and they do not always feel safe coming forward. The presence of cameras is a good one to deter crime and illegal behavior, and we believe in it as an effective tool in the world of public safety. In this work, we also recognize the incredible staff that works at the New York City Department of Parks and Recreation, from our borough commissioner to the staff, as well as our PEP offices and all of our associates and seasonal workers that work hard every day to keep our parks clean. If you saw video and photos of the conditions of Hafen Park after this horrific shooting, your mind would be blown. And it was the Parks Department that stepped up and made sure that Hafen Park is clean as is all our other parks. So I'm so glad that there is not only a collaboration, but now a new agreement between the Parks Department and the Department of Sanitation that our commissioner will talk about, because this funding is absolutely going to benefit our parks as well, because we do want to make sure that park goers, visitors, and tourists alike are all safe when they visit our parks. So ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome our Bronx Borough Commissioner for the Parks Department, Yesenia Aponte.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I'm proud to stand here before you as your Bronx Borough Commissioner for New York City Parks. I would like to thank Bronx Borough President Vanessa Gibson for bringing us together for this important cause and for allocating $1.5 million that provide the Bronx with much-needed cameras to combat illegal dumping and assist DSNY and NYPD with surveillance. In our Bronx parks, large-scale illegal dumping of trash has been a persistent problem. Some of the large-scale items include, and are not limited to, refrigerators, car tires, construction debris, such as tiles, sinks, sheetrock, furniture, and when I say furniture, I'm talking about a full, complete bedroom set, and even vehicles. In 2024, we had a total of 1,337 cases of illegal dumping reported by our staff. This year, we already have 1,101 cases reported. All this trash is painstakingly cleared by hand. To our park crews and my team at Parks, your hard work does not go unnoticed. Thank you for everything you do. Earlier this year, New York City Parks increased the monetary fines associated with unlawful dumping on Parks property. A summons for first dumping offense now carries a $5,000 fine. We've also added a penalty of $10,000 for each subsequent offense within 12 months. We are fully committed to holding violators accountable and implementing solutions to prevent this problem from continuing or escalating further. Our newest tool in this fight includes upgraded surveillance technology designed to deter illegal dumping in our borough. The installation of security cameras near park spaces will capture unlawful dumping activity and help with sanitation enforcement. I'd like to thank my partners in DSNY for this new collaboration, so thank you very much. Let's give them a round of applause. But surveillance alone, like the borough president and the district attorney has messaged, isn't enough. We need continued community engagement. So we urge residents to report illegal dumping when they see it. Every call matters. Dumping of trash creates unsightly conditions in our parks and poses environment and public health risks. It is also a public safety issue, as clean, well-maintained parks make communities feel safer and enhance the quality of life of all of our New Yorkers. Public safety is a collective effort from all of us, elected officials, government agencies, local businesses, and community members. The installation of the new surveillance cameras will help make our public spaces cleaner and safer. Thank you again to the borough president and other elected officials for supporting these improvements, and to our sister agencies like NYPD, Sanitation, City DOT, I can't leave out DEP, for all the work that you do for our city. Together, we can improve our green spaces for future generations, enhance public safety, and increase the quality of life for residents all over this incredible borough. To help beautify your neighborhood, you too can join one of those initiatives. A Let's Green NYC volunteer event, you can host one, you can participate in one throughout the borough. I want to thank everyone here today. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Aponte, and to the Parks Department, the incredible staff that work across our parks and playgrounds. We appreciate all of your work. A part of this conversation and this partnership also involves the NYPD, and we're so grateful for their leadership, their commitment, and the work that happens each and every day. We have Assistant Chief Benjamin Gurley here on behalf of all 12 commands that we represent here in the Bronx, from the 4-0 precinct all the way to the 5-2. And through the leadership of Chief Gurley and his team at the borough, we have been dedicated to working together, targeting areas where we know are of priority, where we have to go in with additional safety measures, and security cameras are a part of that. So ladies and gentlemen, our Commanding Officer of Patrol Borough Bronx, Assistant Chief Benjamin Gurley.
Thank you, Madam President. Thank you. So we talked about shootings, and we talked about the shootings of recent incidents where we had 5 people shot in the 4-7 precinct. We had an additional 4 people shot in the 4-5 precinct. These 2 incidents, 9 victims. When we talk about the numbers, 635 guns removed from Bronx streets. When you talk about reductions in shootings, we're talking about reduction of 42 shootings. We're talking about the reduction of 66 victims, but I still have a 17-year-old young lady laying in the hospital fighting for her life. I still have a young man that was killed today in the 4-6 precinct while in possession of a firearm. I'm still having these incidents, still. The NYPD pushing every day, working with the community, working with my partners standing behind me, to my right, to my left, still struggling with the young people with firearms. Shooting perpetrators in the Bronx are up in the ages of 24 and below. And you'll be astounded to hear the 10-year-old to 17-year-old victim and perpetrator are the issue. Listen to those ages. Below 18, 17 and 10-year-olds. I have females carrying guns at 13 years old. I have shooters as young as 12. Now, we talk about public safety and what that means. That means a collective for everybody. That means it's everybody's responsibility, regardless of what your title is. Everyone's. Aunties, uncles, cousins, I don't care who you are in the community, when you talk about young people and giving advice and steering them along the right path. Now, the borough president, in regards to cameras, understands that the cameras are going to give us the ability to make quicker apprehensions, and also is going to help the DA's office prosecute stronger. It may not deter everything, but it's an extreme assistance to me and my partners to bring public safety back to the Bronx. I don't like the numbers, and the numbers are down. I really don't. I really don't. As a product of the Bronx, I grew up here, I was born here, I went to school here, and I take it personal. My family still lives here. And I'm asking for all those that are listening, just please, let's think about what's going on with our young people. We do not want to put our young people into jail constantly and constantly and constantly. And as I said a couple of months ago, standing in the same spot, when the gun is in the possession of a young person's hand, it's too late. It is too late. And to my young people, there are consequences on both ends of the gun. If you're the shooter or the one getting shot at, there are extreme, life-changing consequences. Please understand that. And everyone has a family that loves them. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Gurley. And I also want to recognize that while we only have Capitol where we can install cameras, we've been working closely with our police commissioner and various chiefs at One Police Plaza. And I'm proud to say the last academy class that graduated, we were able to get a little over 300 new police officers across our borough. That is what residents are asking for, the presence of police. And we're already working on the next academy class to make sure that that is a part of the conversation. And within that, I also want to recognize our partners at the Department of Sanitation. I have DSNY on speed dial. I speak to our chief here in the borough almost every day about what I see across the borough. We respond to 311 calls, as well as inquiries to our office, our ombudsman unit, the 12 community boards we represent, and we are always looking at ways to make sure that we can deter illegal dumping. And also, we know that sanitation has a number of initiatives when it comes to recycling and making sure that everyone plays a role in this work. So I want to acknowledge from the Department of Sanitation, DSNY, our Assistant Chief, Stephen Bucolo is here. Thank you, Chief, for being here. And I want to recognize next another partner city agency that is a part of this conversation when we talk about our streets. Safe streets when it comes to infrastructure, when it comes to our underpasses, overpasses, our roadways, our thoroughfares. It's so important that the Department of Transportation is a part of this work and also will benefit from this announcement and from the work that we are doing from a capital perspective. So I want to recognize our Bronx Borough Commissioner for the New York City Department of Transportation, Commissioner Anthony Perez.
Good morning, everyone. As the Borough President mentioned, my name is Anthony Perez. I'm the Bronx Borough Commissioner for the city's Department of Transportation. And you might be wondering what's the connection here, so let me spell it out a little for you. The Grand Concourse right behind you was started in 1894, 20 years before the Bronx was even the Bronx. And slowly but steadily, we've been redesigning all of these Grand Concourse medians and streets, making them safer and more beautiful. We just started phase 5 up in the Kingsbridge area from Fordham Road up to 198th, and you see the beautiful flowers here. And the one thing that's important to note is that we deserve to have this beauty. We deserve to have lavender plantings and roses and beautiful medians that make the community feel like a home, feel like a place that belongs to us. What we don't deserve is to find mattresses in between those flowers. What we don't deserve is to see bags full of diapers and other discarded garbage that's left out there. It's not okay, it should not be expected, and it should not be accepted. And I think what's important is that we all have to work together to make that difference happen. We're standing here in a plaza that belongs to this community. We have several of them, Roberto Clemente Plaza, Fordham Plaza, Lou Gehrig Plaza. These are public spaces that belong to everyone, open spaces that for many are their backyards, so they can escape just being inside the 4 walls of their home. And they shouldn't have to sit next to garbage, and they shouldn't have to accept that. It also relates to how these things all work together. When you see those cameras around the borough and around the city, they're usually on a street light, which is a DOT infrastructure. Those cameras need electricity, and they come from those streetlights as well. And sometimes they need to be hung over overpasses or bridge structures, which are also part of our transportation infrastructure as well. And for each of these different spaces, we have partnerships. For the Grand Concourse, it's contracted out to a landscaping company, but they can't do it by themselves. For the plaza here, we work with the 161 bid and other partners to maintain it, but they also can't do it by themselves. When we talk about our step streets, and the Bronx in particular, because of our topography and the hillside structure, we have the most step streets out of any borough in the city. About 2/3 of all step streets in New York City are here in the Bronx, and about half of those 2/3 are right here in the High Bridge neighborhood. And we deserve to have a safe place for people to come up and down those steps, to go to school, to go to work, and to come home, and to not see a bunch of illegal dumping every time we're trying to get through. So together with the partners that we have, like the Center for Economic Opportunity that helps us to clean those steps sometimes, with the landscaping companies, with the bids, with the nonprofits, with our agency partners, we have to tell everyone that the Bronx deserves better, that we will not accept this, and it will not be accepted anymore. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Perez, and thank you to the team at DOT for all the work you do. Commissioner and I are also on speed dial. I send him lots of video and images of things that I see, but he's always responsive and making sure that DOT shows up. I also want to recognize, since Commissioner Perez talked about them, we are standing here in the backdrop of the 161st Street Business Improvement District, and I want to recognize our Executive Director, Trey Jenkins, and also our Assistant on behalf of the 161st Street Bid, Michael Torres. Thank you. Thank you both for the work you do, and thank you to the 161st Street Business Improvement District. So in addition, a part of our Clean Streets or Safe Streets initiative, we have been proud to partner with ASEZ over my years as an elected official. But as Borough President, we've taken our partnership to a deeper level when it comes to meaningful engagement and volunteerism. We've worked with so many of our youth across the borough, our youth council, young people, and to me, the best answer to the challenges we are facing is involving young people, giving them opportunities, opening doors where they can volunteer, but it also leads to college and career pathways. We believe in that work. So on behalf of ASEZ WAO, I want to recognize our Regional Director, Victor Losada. You can talk about all the traffic.
Good morning. Thank you so much, Madam Borough President and all the ones who are here. On behalf of ASEZ, we are a student volunteer group that is led by World Mission Society Church of God members from their high school, college, and even after they graduate college, they go on to the workforce. They continue serving their communities. Here in the Bronx, we've been thankful and lucky enough to work with many amazing partners. When Borough President was in the council, we met her, and then we've been working since then. And this past summer, we carried a volunteer activity with the slogan, "Don't Dump on the Bronx." It was a 1-month volunteer activity. We collected over two tons of trash in different areas of the Bronx, which we believe, like many of my fellow colleagues here, they deserve better. I was not born in the Bronx. I've been living in the Bronx for 10 years, and I love the Bronx. Everywhere I go, I meet people that somehow are connected to the Bronx, so sort of all the roads lead back to the Bronx in a way. And so that's why I believe that the Bronx needs to become a standard of living for all the residents, and having the young people involved is crucial since they're the future of the borough, they're the future of the city, they're the future of the country. And I really feel saddened when I hear about the shootings and the victims, how there are young people. Many of them, we have to see them like in our backyard, right? Wherever it is happening is our backyard. So I believe that having more initiatives like this, Sanitation Department has an amazing program where you can borrow tools and they'll lend you the tools to just clean up your neighborhood. And I think as residents get involved, if we all get and put a little bit together, then it can make the Bronx a better place for all of us. So I'm really thankful for this. I'm excited about the new initiative and the investment in the cameras, and I look forward to more opportunities to serve the community and work together with our city officials and all our partners to make this a better place for all of us. So thank you so much, Madam President, for having me, and thank you all for being here.
Thank you so much, Victor, and thank you to all of our student leaders and volunteers of ASEZ. You all know I am not afraid to get in the mix of things when it comes to cleaning streets. I also plant trees as well. The DA and I were planting trees in June down in St. Mary's Park during Gun Violence Awareness Month. Ladies and gentlemen, this is all a part of our effort to beautify our borough and to make sure that we recognize that clean streets are safe streets. Our final speaker for this morning proudly represents the Sanitation Foundation. As I said earlier, we've been proud to work with Sanitation Foundation as Borough President. We launch a summer cleanup series initiative each and every summer, and we go neighborhood by neighborhood, and we pick up trash. And what I love about our initiative is that families come together. So we have mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, and we have the children. Because if we are to lead this borough to where we want it to be, it is going to be through the lens of our young people. And I love that so many of our families do these activities together. So I'm proud to recognize our Community Engagement Manager for the Sanitation Foundation, Johari James.
Yes. Good morning, Bronx. Thank you, Honorable President. Thank you to all the partners that are here. Yes, good morning. My name is Johari James. I am the Community Engagement Manager for the Sanitation Foundation, which is the official nonprofit partner of the Department of Sanitation. So keeping our borough clean is a responsibility we all share. It's about ensuring our kids have a safe place to play, that our local businesses can thrive, and that every resident feels a sense of respect and dignity in their community. A clean street is a foundation of a strong community, and like the Borough President always says, clean streets are safe streets, and we really believe that at the Sanitation Foundation. We see the desire for a cleaner Bronx every day in our work. This summer, the Sanitation Foundation partnered with the New York Yankees, along with the Bronx Borough President here, for our 5th year in a row to do our Bronx Summer Series cleanup. Our 5th year, we have collected 22,000 pounds over the last 5 years in this partnership. This year in particular, 400 volunteers came out to collect over 2,000 pounds of litter. So we understand that this is important. We understand the long-term commitment that's needed to create real change here in the Bronx. The energy and commitment is incredible that we've seen, but we know that there's more work to be done. We recently did a report that says 8 out of 10 New Yorkers feel that littering is a serious problem in the city. But still, 1 out of every 3 New Yorkers still admits to not disposing of their waste correctly. And that's a big problem. So we have a disconnect there between what should be and what is. So that's why our cleanup initiatives are important. We thank the borough president for this initiative with the security cameras, and we hope that this can bring a higher quality of life to the Bronx community. One of the things that we've done this past year is create our PSA that simply states, "Don't do NYC dirty." It's a very simple message that we want everyone to understand. If you can see this small button on my shirt right here, it says, "Don't do NYC dirty." Maybe you've seen the commercials around, you've seen the ads. But we want everyone to keep that in their minds as they wake up and as they walk through the city every day. Don't do NYC dirty. Initiatives like the one announced by Bronx Borough President today are essential for holding those who disrespect our communities accountable. And efforts like our cleanups show the power of community. So I want to give a shout out to all the cleanup groups that are here, absolutely to our DSNY partners, to the NYPD, and to all the residents that take pride in their community on a day-to-day basis to make sure that New York City and the Bronx in particular is clean. So we're grateful for our partnership. Let's keep the Bronx clean and safe. And remember, do not do NYC dirty, and also don't dump on the Bronx, all right? Have a blessed day.
I love that. Don't dump on the Bronx. Clean streets are safe streets. As we end, let me also acknowledge our district manager for this community board, local community board 4, Leonardo Coelho. Thank you for being here. Felix Garcia, chief of staff for the office of Assemblyman Landon Days, New York City Council member Althea Stevens, and all the elected officials that we proudly work with across the borough. This is a partnership. This is a call to action and attention. We are adamant, we are focused, we are determined to keep the Bronx clean and safe. And we need all of you to be a part of this. So stay tuned for even more initiatives, more partnerships coming up. And with that, we'll take a couple of questions, and then I have to do the official check signing because I do have checks to present today to Patrol Borough Bronx and the Department of Sanitation. Do that first? Okay, we'll do the check signing first. Okay.
Take it straight to the bank.
Yes, this is real money. It can be cash today, right? Oh, what's today's date? I don't know.
26.
Thank you. Okay. Department of Sanitation, that's for you. And this one is
Step
for...
up. Get your money.
Love these checks.
It's a good signature.
Oh, thank you. I try. So you can understand.
So which one is
All right, so which one is
sanitation?
Yes, this one is...
Which one is it? Sanitation.
$500,000.
That's the big one? That's the big one. Down the block, down the block.
All right. Do any of our colleagues in the media have any questions about today's press conference? Okay. On topic and off topic. Oh, sure. So what we envision, the NYPD and Patrol Borough Bronx have identified their priority areas across the borough when it comes to security cameras, and obviously it's based on where we're seeing trends and patterns of crime, the 7 majors, areas where we need cameras, where people have reached out and said this is where we want to see a camera, and also it's going to be a partnership with Sanitation. Sanitation and Parks Department now have a new memorandum of understanding, and so it allows Sanitation to go into parks, adjacent to parks, and place security cameras. So the goal is to make sure that we can deter the illegal dumping that Commissioner Aponte spoke about in many of our parks. So this is just the beginning. I know that it's not the total amount of what is needed, but this is a partnership that will not end, and I'm looking forward to next year's budget for FY27, and I will make sure that we also provide another allocation in next year's budget as well. Oh yeah, there's a mobile unit too. Yeah.
Just repeat that again. Yeah, this allotment is going to cameras. You know, we have a lot of Argus cameras around the city and partners that we have access to in real time to cameras. This is going to help us with Argus cameras where we can sit at our desks and even monitor it from our phones and see what's going on in real time. So this is the kind of cameras we need. A lot of times we respond to things and we have to get cameras from buildings that we don't have access to, so we have to see the super, the landlord, or we go to a house and we have to get a Nest or a Wise camera. These type of cameras we have access to. We can pan, we can tilt, we can zoom real time. So when we respond, we know who we're looking for. There'll be a full assessment of where we can put them. Majority of them go on city property, city poles, and things like that.
DOT. Thank you. Oh, she's not the me. Wait, we're taking questions from the media first. If you. Oh, okay. Sorry about that. I didn't see it.
I'm from this neighborhood, and I just want to know, like, I see the media out here and everything, but how could you get the community more involved so they live here, so they can get involved in this?
Sure. Oh, absolutely. So remember, we have 12 community boards. We make 600 appointments every year. So members of our community join 12 community boards, including here CB4. We also have advisory councils. We have precinct councils. And we also have ways that many residents can be a part of our office from our youth council. We have a disability council. We have a veterans council. We have a number of working groups in our office here at Borough Hall. And there's lots of ways. If anyone reaches out to our office and express an interest in being a part of any one of our councils, absolutely. People send us emails, correspondence, they visit the office. There's lots of ways. We also work with tenants associations, homeowner associations, civic groups. There are a lot of organizations across the borough, and we've taken the time in these 3+ years to attend meetings, to engage with them, and make sure that people feel connected. But there's always room for improvement, and we're always happy to entertain any new ideas that residents may have about community engagement. Anyone else?
To eliminate illegal dumping, shouldn't we close the border first?
Okay, we'll talk to you offline, sir, about the border. We got you. Any other questions from the media? Okay, thank you so much, everyone. Clean streets are safe streets. Thanks so much for coming, everyone, today. Be blessed.